If your Dr. Champion wanted s'mores and couldn't get them? Could you get could you get s'mores more easily available to your doctor? I'm Mark Copeland. I'm the Value Analysis Whisperer. I help small med device companies get their products approved in ambulatory surgery centers, hospitals, and health systems. And I'm holding up, for those of you at home who are watching on YouTube, I should say, a Hershey's milk chocolate pillow. I live in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I know a lot of Hershey employees and executives. My dad worked for them for 33 years. It's the reason we moved to this area. And it's a cool town. So I get to have cool story conversations with people who work for Hershey Chocolate. And one of the coolest I ever heard was from a friend of mine who was in sales. And he called on large grocery store chains. And there's a parallel to value analysis I hope you can see. I hope I can make it here. And it's an interesting story. So my friend Paul was calling on a big grocery store chain, and they had a small spot, like it was during what's known as s'mores season, right? So I assume everyone knows what a s'more is, but for the two of you that don't, a s'more is marshmallows roasted on an open fire. You do around a fire pit. You smash it between, you know, two graham crackers with a Hershey chocolate bar in the middle of it, and then you eat it and you laugh and you get all sticky and but you're hanging with your friends, you're hanging with your family, you're enjoying it at the fire pit, and you're sort of making it yourself, right? There's three ingredients you need: graham crackers, marshmallows, and Hershey's milk chocolate, except no substitutes. So Paul's trying to get this grocery chain to they only have a little small shelf space for the SKU that's required, which is the 6 pack of Hershey's chocolate bars. That's really your s'mores go to on the chocolate bar side. And they only had a little spot, and every day it was selling out because it's s'more season. So it'd sell out early in the afternoon. And then from the hours of, I'm making this up, but around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, after it's sold out, it wouldn't get restocked until third shift that night in the grocery store. So there would be valuable shopping hours where people who wanted to make s'mores couldn't get the key ingredient, the Hershey chocolate bar, in the pack that it's designed, right? So what Paul needed was a bigger display or a bigger shelf space. But shelf space, for those of you who don't know in grocery stores, is it's like you don't just throw your stuff somewhere. It is bought and sold and fought over and paid for. It is a battleground. And you can't just come in and get it. And Paul's idea was much bigger than that. Paul wanted an end cap. Now, you know what an end cap is. It's at the end of every aisle. And I don't know if you ever noticed this, but that is prime real estate in grocery stores. That is for big movers, big margins, seasonal things. Like they don't just slap anything there on the end cap. It's thought out and planograms are built, and I mean, it's the oceanfront real estate of a grocery store. So what Paul wanted to do is he wants to grow Hershey chocolate sales. He wants to fulfill the shoppers who come in and want to buy and make s'mores, buy the ingredients and make s'mores. He wants to make it easier for them because he knows if he does that, he moves more chocolate bars. But and I'm looking at my notes because he wrote where they are. He's like, here's the problems. He's like, it's three ingredients in three aisles: graham crackers in the cookie aisle, marshmallows hidden in the bottom shelf of the baking, and Hershey's milk chocolate in the candy aisle. And he said, so people who come in and want to make s'mores, they can kind of find them, but they got to come at the right time, or we don't have them. That's a problem, and that's a problem for the grocery store because if you think about it, that SKU, that 12 pack or 6 pack of Hershey's that they sell out of, that is shelf space not generating revenue. It's just sitting there empty until the grocery store team can restock it. So this is a big problem. So what Paul went to the grocery store chain is like, look, you make a lot of money on Hershey's chocolate, right? Oh, yes, yes. You make money on Kraft marshmallows? Oh, yes. Yeah, we do. You make money on Nabisco graham crackers? Yes, we do. Paul said, you have shoppers coming in buying all three ingredients. They got to go to three spots. If we put all three of them together on an end cap, you'll make a lot of money. You'll delight your customers who are buying it. Because you'll make it easy for them. And it's a high revenue, high profit end cap, right? Makes sense. So Paul convinced them to do just that, not because he needed to sell more chocolate, although that was his rationale, but because the customer, not the buyer, not the doctor who wants the s'more, but the health system grocery store would make more money. And Paul's pitch was you'll make more money, you'll delight your customers, you'll increase brand loyalty, and you'll improve the customer experience because you've just made it easier for them. The guy's a good salesperson. They gave him end caps, and here's what they found. Sales blew through the roof because people who were looking to buy the ingredients of s'mores came in like, oh my gosh, wow, they put them all together. This is great. Nabisco and Kraft, because you could get generic marshmallows and graham crackers, put a coupon on it because they wanted to be involved. So customers got a lower price, so they got a discount, right? Grocery store made a ton of money. Hershey sales went up 600%. And that's a high margin product for the grocery store. And here's the funny part. It went up 600% because shoppers who came in who had never thought about s'mores, had no intention of buying the ingredients for s'mores, saw all of them there and said, hey, that's a good idea. I should buy these. And the kids and I, or our friends, we can go have s'mores tonight. It opened up a whole new market, which the grocery store loved. People who were coming in, shoppers, thanked management. This is awesome. Thank you so much for doing it. Thanks for making it easier. Or thanks, we didn't even think of it. And now we had a great experience. And what happened? Customer loyalty went up. Customer experience improved. Revenues increased. Profits increased. Hershey chocolate sales went up. As Paul said it in one sentence, wins all around. Now, what's this got to do with value analysis? Well, what Paul did is what I urge all of us to think of. They have to do that in the grocery business, in the retail business. They're doing B2B. They're trained to think this way. We've been doing B2C, or D2C, I should say, direct to clinician, not direct to consumer. That's all we've ever been doing. They're doing business to business. And we need to do a little bit of that. Can we find wins for our health system? Does making our surgical procedures faster improve patient throughput? Does having a safer video laryngoscope system in the ICU improve patient outcomes and keep them safe, fight aspiration, pneumonias, whatever it is? Like those are important things clinically, but those are also important benchmarks for the health systems. Their quality of care goes up. Their staff is able to do more things in the same amount of time without getting burned out. Doctors, nurses are retained because it's a good place to work. All of those things are strategic wins. Those are business wins. Does your product help with those? I don't know, but I can tell you I help a lot of companies and I look at their products. And when we force ourselves to think this way about their product, you'd be amazed at the benefits and the wins ASCs get, hospitals get, health systems get, not just patients and doctors. And so I urge you to think like Paul. Try to think how does the business win, not just the consumer coming in who wants s'mores. I hope I was able to draw the parallel. We'll see. You guys can tell me. But I'm Mark Copeland. I'm the Value Analysis Whisperer, and this has been Sutures and Cents. Talk to you next week.